Good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning. Out of respect for everyone's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. And as others join us, we welcome them as well. Thank you for logging on to join us for Allied National's Spring Refresh webinar today. We certainly appreciate you sharing your time with us, and we are so excited to talk with you today about what's new at Allied National and how our intention is to set all of us up for more success together this summer and into fourth quarter. I'm Liz Wilson, Executive Director of Sales and Marketing here at Allied. With me today hosting this webinar is Ann Bornscher, Director of Underwriting and Client Services, Patty Graves, Underwriting Manager, and Jason Gibson, Manager of Sales Operations. We're excited to each be talking with you today as a team. And for next roughly 45 minutes, we will walk through some slides, discuss Allied National's updates, and leave plenty of time for some Q&A. And this time, instead of answering your questions coming in via chat, we'd really like to open your mics and give you the opportunity to talk directly with our team, provide feedback, ask questions about what we've shared. Let us know if you have what you need to succeed with Allied National. We appreciate you and we want to do more business together. So without further ado, let's talk about some underwriting process changes. This continues our theme of you asked, we listened. Basically, you have shared that you want a faster path to firm rates and ideally without the need for apps. So effective immediately, if you have not heard yet, please allow me to share our great news that for 15 plus employees enrolled groups, there is no app requirement any longer. This has been a long time coming for Allied, and we are really excited to offer this opportunity. For groups that have the necessary data to provide to still receive a strong underwriting review, we can provide a firm rate without IHQs or minimal health questionnaires. I'll turn it over to Ann, who's going to walk through in more detail what it looks like for those 15 plus groups to get a firm rate without apps. Ann?
Well, morning, everyone. So Patty and I really appreciate being a part of this webinar, and we are very excited about our new underwriting changes. So let's talk about how to get a firm rate for your group of 15 or more employees. So in order to receive a database underwritten quote, we will need to receive the following: a group census, including all the employees and dependents enrolling in coverage, with the normal items like full name, date of birth, and zip code for both the employee and the dependents. We'll need a current carrier bill, and we'll need a full renewal package, which will include large claim information and experience. Now we know there might be times when you might not be able to get the above information, or this might be a virgin group. You will still be able to get a firm rate by completing our IHQ applications. After you have reviewed the firm rate, and if you like what you see and want to move forward with Allied, we will need the following for a complete submission so that we can issue the coverage. We will need the final enrollment census, including all the demographic information for the employee and dependents, which includes the Social Security numbers for the dependents, as well as email addresses for anyone of legal age. We'll need the 15 plus plan sponsor statement, including the employer disclosure statement and the most current experience if self-funded. So I'll turn this over to Jason.
Thanks, Ann. So really from a participation standpoint, our rules haven't changed much, with the exception of we won't need waivers on as long as the group is meeting a 50% participation. And groups that are unable to meet that minimum requirement can use waivers, and as long as we can verify the waiver, and get valid waivers. 75% of all of those eligible employees after waivers would be the participation requirement. So as usual, no owners only and no owner and spouse only enrolled groups. There has to be at least one non-owner W-2 employee that is also not an owner or spouse of the owner. So those rules have been pretty static for quite a while, but that's pretty much it from a 15+ perspective. Do you want to go through the 2 to 14 stuff, Liz?
Yes, so I will jump into that in just a second to add to what Ann and Jason shared regarding the 15+. We're definitely trying to not confuse anybody. We're trying to make it easier for you. We understood the need to be able to get a firm rate quickly and with that database underwriting opportunity. So you now have that option as long as the group has the data we need to at least give a strong review to provide a quality rate. That's Allied National to a T. We provide a quality rate in the hopes that a group that joins us stays with us. We're not trying to hand out ridiculous renewals. We want to be in business with you and your groups for the long term. So we're confident you might have some questions or feedback. We'll dive into that at the end of the slides. But I hope you are as excited as we are. We've been so excited to share this and really excited to start looking at those groups that you have the data we need to do the database underwriting. And if you don't, that's okay. We can always do the applications. So you have options. So this is great news. For 2 to 14 groups, pretty much our standard process of requiring individual health questionnaires. Not unlike much of the market, this is a small group requirement, and Patty is going to walk through kind of what we need to turn around that firm rate for 2 to 14.
Good morning. We recognize that not every group that you have is going to be eligible for our database underwriting, meaning you have 15 or more enrolled employees. So for those groups that fall in the 2 to 14 category, again, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get a firm rate. So for those groups, we have only 6 items that we need in order to be able to make a rate for you that you can count on. The first one is we need a group census. This needs to include all the employees and the dependents that are enrolling, all the information, dates of birth, gender, the normal items that you would send in on that group census. We do need a medical employee enrollment form for everyone in that 2 to 14 category. That is our standard IHQ. If your group is not a virgin group and has current coverage, then we're going to need that current carrier bill, and that bill needs to list the employees' names. In addition to that current carrier bill, we need your full renewal packet. This packet has a lot of additional information that's very useful for us when we're trying to get that firm rate to you. So whatever came from your current carrier in your renewal packet, we'd like to have the entire packet. You know, we'll shift through it and figure out what we can use and what we can't use. But this way we'll have everything that we need in order to be able to assess the risk on your group. We'll also need that 2 to 14 plan sponsor statement. This is the employer statement. This gives us all the information about the group that's going to be able to help us set it up and get that rate to you. And then last but not least, we need your state quarterly unemployment tax report, a wage, tax, or payroll register. Kind of depends on what your state calls it because every state's a little bit different. But we will need that for your group, and it needs to be the most current version.
Terrific. Thank you, Patty. Pretty straightforward. I think a lot of you are familiar with what's needed for the 2 to 14 firm rate. Again, we will talk through the underwriting guidelines a little bit more at the end of this webinar. Jason, do you want to continue with participation requirements for 2 to 14?
Sure. Pretty much the same as they are for 15 plus. It's a 50%.
Easy.
It's trying to keep it easy, trying to keep things static so that the requirements can be as closely matched as possible. But yeah, 50% of the full-time employees pre-waiver, and any group may also meet participation if they have at least 75% of all the eligible employees participating after valid waivers. And same goes for the owner's portion of that.
Terrific. Well, that is really the nuts and bolts of our underwriting updates. The other item we really wanted to share as part of our Spring Refresh webinar today is new product information. This is particularly something I'm very excited about, something that I know we've talked about internally and with our agent and GA partners, is the need for some guaranteed issue options. So if you're familiar with the Cost Saver, that is one of our guaranteed issue options, and of course our MEC plan. The good news is a lot of you are probably familiar with a general base MEC plan product and may or may not be selling one now, hopefully Allies. Going forward, we want to make sure you know about something we've brought to the market, which is our 2 MEC buy-up options. So let me explain how that kind of works. We generally assume, since the MEC is a 100% employer-paid, employer-sponsored plan, if the employer wants to provide the base MEC product for their employees or a class of employees, they may do so, and then the employee will then have the option to buy up to either the MEC Plus or the MEC Advantage, which both buy-up options provide some additional great benefit and terrific value. We're going to turn over the slide here, which will bring up that flyer a little bit more closely, and you can see what this looks like exactly. So of course, the basic MEC is preventative services covered at 100% with no copay and a prescription drug discount. That is $43 a month, and for an additional $10, you of course get the preventative services covered at 100% with no copay, the prescription drug discount, and 1 primary care visit with no copay. So essentially, if you and your family or you as an individual know that you're going to go have a primary care visit, that $10 additional cost, there's some savings there with no copay to have that visit. And it's just, you know, strategic. It's just giving yourself a little upfront additional benefit at a reduced cost than what you'd pay individually, just going directly at the doctor. Then for the MEC Advantage plan, this is where this gets, to me, really exciting, because if I'm an employee and my employer is paying or offering the MEC plan or the MEC Plus plan, and I want something a little richer because I know the value of that and the benefit, and I know I'll likely use it, the MEC Advantage is a terrific opportunity. Again, at only $102, you're getting those preventative services covered at 100% with no copay, $10 copay for generic drugs, 3 primary care visits with a $20 copay, 3 specialist and urgent care visits with a $50 copay, 5 lab and x-ray services with a $50 copay, and 1 diagnostic testing with a $200 copay. That is a lot of additional benefit for not a lot of additional premium. It's a really great option, and it just makes this MEC plan feel like such a better offering from the employer, with the employee having more options, and it makes it stickier, quite frankly. I'll note that asterisk at the bottom, these rates are effective through September 2024. So roughly every 6 months, we will look at trend and market, and rates may fluctuate slightly. So just know that these are not static rates indefinitely. We're not talking huge swings, but I just wanted to note that asterisk at the bottom so you understood what that meant. So I'll kind of reference the MEC again, what I was sharing earlier, the guaranteed issue aspect of the plan is so significant. So if you've got a group that either isn't a fit budget-wise for a major medical plan, or maybe they're just having a challenging year, health-wise, etc., that guaranteed issue option is really, really valuable, and it's something to make sure you have in your tool belt. The MEC is suitable for small employers with down to 5, and of course, large groups. So while Allied is the small group expert, we do have some large group solutions as well. The MEC and the Cost Saver being two great options to always be talking to your employers about of any size. This MEC product is also great for class out plans. If you've got a employer of any size who maybe, let's say, the executive team is doing a rich major medical plan, but they want to offer something different for hourly employees, the MEC plan is a terrific option to put in there to cover the employees, but not at an astronomical cost for anyone. Another thing that we've gotten great feedback about is agents are liking that this plan uses a PPO network. It's First Health, but if you go out of a network, there's no penalty. It falls on RVP. So it is a PPO plan option. And of course, just a reminder, the employer is responsible for paying this plan, the base plan, at 100%. So just another kind of buy-up options, making our MEC plan richer, more marketable for you, and something really great to talk about if you're not talking about it now. And then the next slide is just a quick review of Allied's products. We want to make sure that we're driving home that Allied has something for every budget. So while I was talking earlier about how we underwrite well, we want to provide a fair rate for a group based on what's going on with the group that year. And then year over year, those clients of yours that join the Allied family, we want them to stay. We don't want you to have to shop each year. We don't want that group to have to bounce back and forth between carriers. We want them to stay and we want them to have options. So our team here is always available to talk with you at renewal about what's going on with the group and strategically come up with a solution that's going to best serve them for that year, whether it's a major medical plan or a guaranteed issue plan, or if their budget is less that year, maybe they need, something more affordable. There's so many options and so many solutions. We don't want you to forget about the Freedom Plan, our PPO, our Cost Saver, the MEC, Direct Primary Care Solutions. We've got everything here for you to take advantage of with your clients. Okay, so what we would like to do now is leave plenty of time to do some Q&A. We're going to try this, so bear with us. We're just going to open everyone's mics, and hopefully we can politely take turns, ask questions, give us feedback. We want to make this more interactive. We appreciate you joining us so that we could share, but we really want to get to talk to you. We want to help you succeed. So let's get started. Who would like to go first? Let us know what you think. And if you're all feeling bashful, you can still type in a question and we'll address it that way too.
They might have to unmute yourselves. You might have to click on the microphone to unmute yourselves so that you can speak.
Would you please send the screens in follow-up so we can have this to review?
Absolutely.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Of course. Does anyone have, if not a question, do you have feedback about the underwriting guidelines change? This has been requested of us for so many years. I would love to hear whether this is exactly what you wanted or something else you need. This is the time to share with us if you'd like.
This is Connie Kitchen at Sue Wilson Brokerage in Oklahoma City.
Yes, hi Connie.
How are you guys doing? This is a great webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Nice to hear your voice.
Well, it's good to be on this call today, and I was really excited when I saw Ann and Patty and everybody was going to be on for underwriting, and I love this 15+ underwriting process that you're offering with literally no paper. This is really a huge step in the right direction from that respect. So we're very excited. So
That's
just
awesome.
looking at the list of things that are needed. So where do you need claims experience? Is that just the case across the board? And if they don't offer it, are you going to have to do more types of underwriting? I wasn't quite clear on that part, on the 15+ underwriting.
Sure, Connie, this is Patty. We
Hi,
would
Patty.
like to have as much as you can possibly have your hands on. We recognize the fact that you might not be the broker of record on a particular group. Some of your groups, they're going to be, 15, some of them are going to be 40. So the amount and type of claims experience and information you get in your renewal packet might differ. The more we have, the better we can review it and get you a firm rate, a better firm rate. So I would say whatever you have, whatever you can get a hold of, send it to us so we can take a look at it.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, those are really, most of my questions was really about that part. The rest looks pretty standard. So,
We appreciate that question. I'll add, I think what we're trying to avoid is everyone, questioning, well, how about this and this or that, or we're really trying to be pretty straightforward. Here's what we need for a group to qualify for database underwriting. Always send us everything that you've got. But if there are certain large chunks of the information on our list that isn't available, we're just going to default to an apps scenario. Not good, not bad. It's just a matter of we need some information to underwrite the group well. And this is kind of, hey, if you've got all of this, terrific. We can streamline this. We can get you a firm rate fast with database underwriting. But if not, let's all be aware that, the traditional app process is always going to be a winner too.
so when you talk about the traditional app, is it the fully underwritten one or the short version that has, just 4 questions?
That is a great question. And if I have Ann and Patty feedback correctly, it is going to be the more traditional application.
Okay.
Connie, that's correct. It's the long form application.
Okay. Sounds good.
And that's the app too that's in the FormFire and Easy app, which is an easy way to complete the applications. So as a suggestion.
And you guys are on Employee Navigator as well, right? I saw you on the list when I was sitting through training with them last week. Is that correct?
I do not think we are on Employee Navigator. Jason?
Liz, I believe you are correct. To the best of my knowledge, I do not believe we are on Employee Navigator.
Okay, that's good to know because they're training. We use Ease, and we're going to be morphing over to an Employee Navigator because Ease got bought by them, and on the carrier list, I was in the alphabetical. Allied National was on the list, so you guys might want to reach out to them if you're not. They're advertising that you are.
Connie, we will take the Ease app. I didn't realize that they had changed to that, but yes, we'll take Ease.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that whole morph is taking time. It's going to be, next year before most cases get moved because of all the updates they're doing to merge the 2 products together. So, That's good.
Terrific. Thank you for bringing that up. That is significant for everyone to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you guys, for some of the smaller groups that we don't put into E's, you guys are still doing your own E-app, correct? Or it just goes out to the employees and they can fill it in and goes direct to you. Is that
Yep.
correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All
We
right.
can always do a dedicated link that comes from Allied National to the employees, and they can go online, fill out their application. It goes directly back to underwriting. So that's a very easy process plan as well.
Right. It really is. Thank you. Those are great. That's great answers. I appreciate that.
Well, Connie, thank you for your feedback. I'm so excited that you're excited with us about the 15 plus. That's what we're aiming for.
Right. Yeah. Easier and simple is what needs to happen with most people. So.
Yeah, we understand.
And your competition is doing this, so it's really going to put you on another platform of things that other carriers are already doing. And, the agents take the easy route most of the time.
So we've heard.
Right. Well, super. Appreciate all the information today.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Questions? Feedback?
I've got a question. My name is Warren McDonald, and I think I've got 3 or 4 different groups on the fundamental care plan, mostly the in and out. And I've been having issues with physician offices not taking or not recognizing the network, and it usually involves the call to the physician's office to make that. Is there any steps to improve that at all?
So I'll share a little bit of what we're trying to do RBP wise. We do have a tool now that members have access to called Compass Connect, and it is a nationwide map of providers and facilities, and basically it gives like a green light, yellow light, blue, red light on who's RBP friendly. So it can help to provide some direction or just some general knowledge for a member of the facility or the provider that they're going to, and if that is an RBP friendly situation, and if there's question, we do have a team here at Allied that is happy to reach out proactively to have that discussion regarding the RBP plan design and get that kind of green lighted for the member. So it's easy and eliminates the noise.
Okay, and and the difficulty I've been having is a lot of people, we can do the employee training and we can tell them, but often they don't either listen, or many of the employees didn't participate in the onboarding. And there's been a certain level of frustration with that because they're just going to go to their physician's office that they've always gone to, and and that's still that's an obstacle really that I've been noticing, and hopefully we can improve on that in that area. So yeah, it's just been a matter of making phone calls and taking care of it. But generally, the patient, the employee, isn't very happy until that's done, because often they will just go to their doctor's office, and then the billing department will indicate to them that, no, we don't accept this. And they might already accept it and then not realize they do. But often the case is that they're going to be required to receive a phone call and then take it from there. So I don't know if we can improve on that or not, but that's what I've been experiencing.
I appreciate you sharing that, because it is worthwhile for everyone on this call to discuss. We certainly, as a company, are trying to do everything we can to support our agent and GA partners, getting that information out to the member of how to be successful with the plan. And just like you said, yes, if someone misses the enrollment meeting, that education is potentially lost on that individual from that meeting. But I do want to encourage you to, reach out to Allied and allow us to help provide some additional tools to connect with those members and get them the information that supports them and having the plan be successful for them. So even if it's an email that the employer wants to send out that we can draft and they can share about the Compass Connect tool. So maybe, if they weren't paying attention at the enrollment meeting or they weren't at the enrollment meeting and they just didn't quite understand what was being discussed, this is a way to get something in their mailbox that says, hey, you've got access to this tool. Here's why. If you get to a provider and they're unsure of what the plan is, they can call Allied immediately. We've got a team here ready to talk to anyone to provide feedback and information on what the plan is and kind of get that process moving along. So you are absolutely right that education is key, but you're not alone in, hey, my only shot at getting this across to all these employees is the enrollment meeting. We've got tools to help you throughout the course of the year so that those members have a really positive experience with the plan. It's a great plan, it's a great benefit, but we want them to know how to use it.
And then Liz, I would like to add, we also have what we call, it's a elite line that goes directly to our senior reps, and they have very good experience with either phone calling a provider to walk the provider through what the plan is they have and then get them to accept or see the member. And so anyway, we do have this dedicated line, and sorry, I don't have that memorized off the top of my head, but maybe we could resend that out to everyone on this webinar, because that's a line that will get you straight to the people who can help solve the issue.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that. And I'll be this afternoon checking out the Compass Connect as well. I do have a unique situation right now with an employee that's trying to get a sleep study conducted. And I know sleep studies can be a little bit hit and miss as far as coverage goes. She did try to call in and was asked the question, what kind of sleep study? And she called her doctor and they indicated that it's just a sleep study. So it's a little bit of going round and round, and I'm trying to solve that right now. If there's any recommendations you can make right now, besides going to Compass Connect, any way I could possibly solve that problem for this employee?
Sure. If you can send me the name of the employee.
Okay.
And then I'll get you connected with customer service, and so they can help you solve the problem.
Okay. And what is your contact information?
Sure. It's A. Bornscher at alliednational.com.
Okay. Do you mind spelling that?
Can you see? They just put it up on the screen.
I see it there. Yep, I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
And that information, thank you, Sandy, for putting that up on the screen. All of our emails and phone numbers are there for you to reach out to anytime. We are a full service team, not just the four of us, but everyone else here at Allied as well. So please reach out, have the conversation with us. If you're wanting to talk about maybe a sales strategy, I'm super helpful for that. If you want to talk about a member question or plan issue, etc. Of course, Anne is fantastic at that. We've got lots of resources for you, so never be shy. We want to help.
Well, thank you.
Of course, Warren. Appreciate you asking your questions. Who else has got one? We'd love to help. Okay, well, of course, don't hesitate to interrupt me. I don't want to end this too soon. If anyone has feedback or still has questions, but just to confirm, we will send out the slides so that everyone who attended or signed up will get the presentation that we shared today. And then, as Anne mentioned, we will send out the contact information for our Elite Experience team.
And I want to pipe in and say I called the Elite line the other day, and they were very helpful. And this is Nola Wood in Kansas City.
Oh, terrific. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, if there's no one else wanting to ask a question live, totally understand. Please don't hesitate to follow up with myself, Anne, Patty, or Jason. We appreciate everybody who took some time out of their morning to join us. We've certainly been really looking forward to sharing these updates with you, and we hope it provides you additional opportunity for success and more opportunity for all of us to work together and see a lot more success in the coming months and years, of course. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Appreciate you joining as well.